Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now today we're here because we've actually just got fresh off the press a brand new producer's letter for Throne and Liberty. Now this is the 8th letter from the producer. Now you can say what you want about the game, people that don't like the game, people that say it's heavily pay to win and whatnot, but credit where credit is due. NC Soft, they really know how to listen to the player base. They know how to analyze their game, and they know when things are not exactly very good, they're not afraid to admit it. And this is another letter here where he's actually admitting that they've made a few little mistakes here and there, and they're going to change that. So this is another W from NC Soft, in my opinion. Take this how you will, but I'm going to go through this this letter with you guys and girls. And yeah, I'm going to explain to you. We're going to see what's going to be coming in the future here, in the not too distant future, might I add. So this is talking about the Resistance event, the recent Resistance event where we were able to participate across the 3 days, and then you were able to unlock the last skill for your weapon. Now the course of this Resistance event has caused a lot of controversy. I am deeply sorry for the inconvenience caused to the users. First of all, I would like to express my sincere apologies for not being able to meet the expectations of those who are all playing with love. So basically they're talking about you had to pretty much sweat in an event, in multiple events, to get your skill, and obviously a lot of people weren't too happy about that. So the developers are seriously concerned about the inconveniences caused by the Resistance event, and are in the process of making major revisions and supplements in various areas. Among the improvements, we're focusing on fixing the format of events that force players to specific content, and improving the overall structure of the PVE, including the local events that impose excessive competitive stress. I'd like to tell you more about what we're working on and to ask for your opinions. So yeah, the local events that happen every few hours, there is a lot of stress in this, because if you don't place well, you don't get a lot of rewards. If you don't get a lot of rewards, you can't obviously upgrade your skills, and there are certain builds that perform way better in these events than others. So this is what they're going to do. We're going to stop the Resistance event, and we're going to be rethinking it. So the biggest significance of the current version of the Resistance event was that it allowed you to learn new skills. Due to the nature of Throne Liberty, where skill value is high, the Resistance event was not an option but a necessity, and it felt like forced content. The developers are also concerned about this problem, and they tried to reduce the burden on users by setting a low minimum score for the skill acquisition. However, they admit that the event didn't go as smooth as planned, basically. This was clearly not intended. So we've decided to pause the Resistance event until we can find a clear improvement. So basically the Resistance event is done for now. It's not coming back right now. And because of that, all level 50 characters, you're going to automatically get the skill. So you don't have to do anything now. So if you was unable to participate in the event, don't worry, you're now just going to get the skill anyway. And those who have already received the skill, we're going to be getting the training book. So like I've got the Meteor skill for my staff, right? So because I already have that, they're going to give me the training books to boost the level of my skill. So that's really good. You can follow up on the Resistance event in the February 7th update. So I'm assuming they're going to try to and fix it before February the 7th, but we'll see. Where was the next bit here? Even if there is a differential distribution event in the future, we plan to give rewards unrelated to growth, so limited skins, cosmetic coins, titles, etc., so that the user's honor will be prioritized. New skills that come in the future will remain in the same way, so basically based on level rather than being through an event. In addition, the skill book / cultivation book, which is a part of growth, will be distributed through seasonal events that everyone can participate in, such as the Christmas event, and through in-game content that's going to be added in the future. That's good to see. Now, this is about the stress of the peaceful local events, because obviously it wasn't a PvP enabled event, but because you're against everybody, people are, you know, tagging the mobs, they're taking the mobs from you, and it is quite stressful. So because there are a large number of PvE minded players in Throne and Liberty who are focused on their goals and growth, we'd like to start by removing the competitive element from the local events. Currently, the regional event Peace Mode does not have PvP between players, but it is a competition between players to compete for the supremacy of the total amount of rewards. There is a problem that the differential distribution of rewards according to the ranking creates a gap, and users in the lower ranks feel relatively deprived. Yeah, it makes sense. This competitive element created a similar kind of stress to PvP and also resulted in local events, basically people just not even bothering to go to the peaceful events. Moving forward, we plan to improve the Peace Zone event to live up to the keyword peace and allow all players in the region to work together on a common goal. The key is to move away from competition for prey and overcome problems through cooperation between users. As such, we are envisioning more advanced content than we have now, which is another W, good to hear. Rewards will also be in the form of increasing the rewards of all participants according to the level of achievement of the goal, without any differentiation according to the ranking. So basically, as it's a peaceful event, they basically want everyone to work together, whereas obviously currently it's a peaceful event, but you're against everybody. So that's putting off a lot of players, which is understandable. The above direction is in the stage of compiling a specific plan, and it is expected that this will take some time before it's presented to you. Until then, we want to distribute the growth goods rewards that are concentrated in the local events to other content so that the stress of the local events can be alleviated. Okay, so instead of reducing the ranked rewards for local events, we will be adjusting dungeons that use token of contract dimension to ensure that there are enough marines and other growth materials available. Oh, this is amazing. So even if you don't have to participate in the events, we will make sure that you don't have any inconvenience. Right, so what they're doing, which is what I said before, they shouldn't just put all of the growth elements in just the events. So now, until they fix their events how they want it to be, they're going to allow us to gain the growth materials from other content. So like the open world dungeons, I'm assuming, and, you know, dungeons in general. That's really, really good. We will improve and supplement our PVE content. Okay. There are some issues where it's difficult to give a specific date yet, but since we've received a lot of inquiries about the direction of the game since the Resistance event, we thought it would be right to share with you in advance at least the planning stages. This is what I like to see, and this is what I like to hear. They're giving us actual, you know, an insight to what they're working on and what their thought process is going to be. So we plan to evolve the end content of PvE around the cooperative dungeons. Guild community is one of the strengths for our game, but it's also a system that requires a strong sense of belonging. We were also wary of the burden of binding on the guild based on the gamer's personal preferences. So basically, what they're trying to say is, because it's a very heavy guild based game, and you have the guild raids, the PvE bosses, for the people that sometimes want to play solo and they don't always want to be forced to do guild stuff, they're going to try to make, I'm assuming, matchmaking better. Therefore, we believe that the end content for the PvE players is cooperative dungeons that can be developed beyond the guild community to a party and a party expansion format of 6 or more. Okay, so they're hinting at basically raids, 10-player dungeons, 20-player dungeons maybe, so that's good. 5 more co-op dungeons will be added in March. 3 of them are going to be existing dungeons in hard mode. 2 of them are going to be entirely brand new dungeons. So they're saying that they know that some people might be disappointed that they're not 5 brand new ones, but that is fine. They want to make sure that they have a realistic goal first, which is to expand the end game as quickly as possible. However, we're working hard to improve the pattern so that it doesn't become a boss fight with a simple color difference. Okay, so they're going to actually add different mechanics to actually make it different, not just, oh, we're doing the ant cave, the normal ant cave boss, and then, oh no, we're going to do ant cave hard mode, but it's exactly the same sort of thing. That's nice to see. New dungeons are going to be released on a weekly basis, and we want to distribute armor parts for each dungeon to give you a reason to go to the dungeon and a goal regardless of what weapon you have. That's great news. So they're actually giving you even more reasons to go to said dungeons, no matter what build you're running, basically. In addition, we will quickly prepare a system for smooth dungeon matchmaking. The current state of the world chat is full of party matchmaking. This is true. And this was not a pleasant picture for the developers to see. It was also something that many people pointed out as an inconvenience. As we make dungeons and boss raids a core part of PVE, we will also be working hard to improve the system for a better experience. Yeah, so they're basically, currently right now, as it said here, all you see in the chat is spamming, looking for DPS, looking for healer, looking for +9 weapon user. And it just literally convolutes the whole chat. We're also working on improvements to field bosses. In the case of field bosses, the competitive stress may have been relatively low, but it didn't guarantee the most basic fun of PvE, which is fighting the bosses. Due to it being in the open, the open world, it was difficult to experience the boss's pattern properly because there was too many users compared to the boss's specs, and the reward distribution is way too low. This is facts. To improve this, we're modifying all peace boss fight modes, so all the open world peace boss fights, including the arc boss, is going to take place in multiple instance spaces. As the number of participants decrease, the probability of rewards, okay, and you can also actually experience the boss mechanics. Right, what I'm going to do now is, I did a world boss earlier, and I actually did record this, so I'm going to play you the clip right now. It's a very short clip, and as you're going to see, this is exactly what they're talking about. So there's so many people in this clip, hundreds of players. They're not even all rendered in, obviously, and we basically kill the boss in like 30 seconds. So there's no mechanics, nothing, no fun, and it's very, very hard to obviously get any drops. So this is going to be interesting. So I wonder how, because they're saying it's going to take place in multiple instance spaces. So is there going to be, I don't know, I'm going to be interested to, I like the idea, because it makes you actually get to, fight the boss properly. It's not just a massive zerg where the boss dies in 30 seconds, there's zero mechanics, and you never get a drop. I'm just wondering how it's going to play out. And they're also going to be doing it for the arc bosses, so for the Sandworm and for Tevin. For the PvE, for the PvP versions, that's not going to happen. It's just for the PvE. This is also going to drastically improve the performance of these bosses as well. So I'm all for it, to be honest. The improvement of the field boss is targeted for February. Oh, wow. We're currently on the 29th of January. So they're looking to move pretty quick. This is really interesting. Improving and supplementing PvE like this is a top priority for Throwing Liberty right now. The PvE, which has been a bit of a closed, guild-driven experience, our goal is to bring a more open and free PvE experience for the soloing people and for just the static party groups. We will refine the content so that you no longer have the burden of participating in competitions that you don't want to, and you can focus on your own growth. I always feel undeserved love and support. Nevertheless, I apologize once again for showing you what we are lacking. We will renew our minds and mindsets. We will listen to your voices that we have missed, think more carefully than anyone else, and boldly develop Throne and Liberty. I mean, this is amazing to see. Like I said earlier, it's a breath of fresh air to see developers actually listening and admitting where they're making certain decisions that they thought were good when they in the real world, when it comes to play, they realize that, okay, it isn't so good. So this is really, really good to see. Huge changes on PVE. I mean, really good changes. Now, obviously, this hasn't happened yet, so we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But I'm really enjoy what I've read here. What do you guys and girls think? Leave me a comment down below, because whether you hate it or like it, PVE, I'm a PvP enjoyer, but you have to admit, in every MMO, the PvE player base is way larger. It's just normally the PvP players like myself are normally a lot louder. So whether you hate PvE or not, it doesn't matter. PvE is here to stay in MMOs, and it needs to stay. So yeah, this is good changes, very, very good changes. Hints at raids. There's hints at, you know, multiple dungeons coming very frequently. So I'm happy with this. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts. So leave me a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Peace.